wrestling because I want to...
Right off the bat, we're going to talk about AEW. Yeah, let's not talk about what I'm doing here, let's talk about AEW. No, I'm good.
Because, you know what? Your job is very, very important in professional wrestling. The job that you are making right now and all of this wrestling, and because people want to know that your job, the AEW, is one of the most important jobs in professional wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it is, a brand new startup company. It's doing awesome. Obviously, everything we've done so far is sold out, you know, knock on wood, which is really good. I mean, I think it's great for wrestling. I think it's great for promotions like this, because I still get to come out here and do things like this, and it seems like everywhere I go, States, overseas, wherever it is, wrestling seems to be making a little bit of a comeback. Everybody's more excited. And everybody has to know there's other programming other than WWE. Not talking bad about them, worked there for 27 years. That's not what I'm doing. I don't ever bash anybody. But I think this company is going to be awesome. It's going to be very refreshing. You'll see a lot of new talent. I think that's the problem, is what we see on programming now is I see the same thing over and over. I can only see two guys wrestle so many times before I go, okay, I've seen it, done that. I mean, yeah, you can go a bunch of different directions, but really, you know, it's the same thing. But I think my job is just to get these kids TV ready. It's just, we're about to shoot TV, so I mean, that's every week, and a lot of these kids are new. They've never shot live TV, and if you've ever done TV or been around TV, you guys media people, you know it's a whole other animal than just going out here in front of people and just letting it rip. You have times and other things like that. So and it's not my job to reel them in, and I think that's one of the main reasons why I have that job, is because I'm not like an old-time guy that goes, okay, you can't do, yeah, sure, you can flip and dive and do all that stuff if you want, but it has to make sense. You know, you can't just go out there and do it, because as a fan, I can't follow along. And we still, as fans, even with the age of internet and everything, we know what's going on. I get it, but I'm still going to come and see and be entertained, but you have to entertain me. And I want to follow along, and I want to have fun, and I want to know that all the money that I just spent to come watch this, bring all my kids, my wife, who didn't want to come, but she's going to come anyway. So I got to drag her along with me. So it's just still being fan-friendly, being able to tell stories and have a good time while you do it, and just the best form of entertainment there is. Hi, how are you? Good shirt, by the way. Yeah. Thanks for wearing that.
You're here to have a match now.
I am here to have a match.
Yeah. Did any wrestlers say to you about the passion of Chilean wrestling fans?
Say that again.
Did some wrestler would say to you about the passion of the Chilean wrestling fans?
No, just when they contacted me, I've heard nothing about great things. I even asked him today on the way over here, how is the wrestling over here in Chile? It's starting up, you know, it's getting bigger. It's the same thing over in Europe and stuff like that. The fans are still very passionate if you let them. If you let them in, they're very loyal if you just give them a good show. Not a bunch of craziness that, you know, just is sometimes you see a bunch of that's just out of too much. It's too much because it's not wrestling. But if you give them a family-friendly show that they enjoy, that they're not, because a majority of the time there's kids here, but if you go out there and start cussing and cracking people and split, it's too much. For me, I'm just not like that. That's just not my style. I mean, is there a place for it? Yeah, in moderation. They'll hit me with everything in the building and then walk out of here, because it's just not realistic. We just can't do that. Like, there's not one of us can get hit with everything in this building and walk out of here. So it's having a good show, putting on a good show from start to finish, everybody knowing their positions, and just having a good time while you do it. But yeah, the fans, so like I really haven't had time to go out and explore, but I'm super excited about tonight. You know, they're gonna get what they see on TV. A crazy nut job. Which is me. Yes, you in the back.
Hi, Billy.
Hey.
My English is not perfect. But
Yeah, neither's mine.
No,
It's all good.
fine. My question is related to your stay in WWE. Since you are a roster prototype of Vince, but you never win the WWE champion.
Yes.
This is a frustration for your career?
No. My career is awesome. Yeah. My career is awesome. I'm not defined by titles. I'm defined by what I did in this business. And I feel like every time, I feel like I give everything every night. When I still go out there, as old as I am, every night people never leave here not getting me, getting what I can give them. That's why I still do this. If I didn't want to do this, or I couldn't do it at a level that I wanted to, that I feel that people are not kind of going, then I'm done. I'm out. You know, I have a job behind the scenes now, but I still choose to go out here while I still can. I stay in awesome shape. I'm in awesome shape, probably the best shape of my life. But that's a lifestyle for me. But I'm not defined by titles. I mean, I've won 11 tag team titles, woo! You know, intercontinental title, but I don't need to win the world title. I don't need to win any title at all. As long as people were happy and I'm happy with my career and I'm super happy with where my career went, I got no problem with it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good question, though. People ask me that a bunch.
I really want to meet you first and foremost.
Thank you.
Here's my question. How you work behind the scenes both in WWE and All Elite? What are the big differences that you feel so far with All Elite versus
Just being a little bit more relaxed. Just the backstage stuff is a lot more relaxed. It's not, I say that now because we're not doing TV yet. it's as long as everybody does their job, as long as everybody's in line how they're supposed to be and doing exactly what they're supposed to be, there's no reason to cuss people or get out of control or go totally haywire. But it's just the feeling backstage. It's super relaxed. And I don't mean super relaxed to where nobody cares. I mean there's not a lot of pressure right now, so everybody enjoys what they're doing, and everybody enjoys working with AEW. Everybody that comes to AEW enjoys AEW and is having a good time. Thank you.
Bueno, primero te voy a mandar un saludo para la historioteca y ¿cuál ha sido la lucha que más recuerdas con más y menos cariño en su carrera?
First he said, if you can say hi to his Historiteca.
As what?
Historiteca.
Hi, hey, hey.
And what's your the matches you remember fondly and
My worst match is anytime I had to work with Road Dogg. No, I'm just kidding. You know, I don't. Oh. So for me, I say my favorite match, or what kind of defined what we did, was the dumpster match with Mick Foley and Terry Funk. Only because when we tossed them off the dumpster and we had that whole little run with them, kind of people just went, oh, so they are for real. So I think that is my favorite, and I don't really have a bad match. I worked Bastion Booger one time, and that was bad. No, I don't have bad matches. They're just not as good as all the rest of them. So I don't ever say that I had bad ones. But the dumpster match is like my favorite, because that kind of made us that we were here to stay for a little while.
Really? Can you show us yeah. When they called you this year and told you, Billy, we want you in the Hall of Fame, how was that moment? Because it was a very special moment for you, but because you were in your body.
I was in the middle of the ocean on a cruise with my wife. Funny story, me and my wife and my mom and my sister, I took my wife on a cruise for her birthday. And I don't like, we have a bunch of animals, we have people that come watch them. So my wife kept her phone. Mine I turned off. I left it at home. Didn't want no part of it. So she had hers, and you have to long story short, you have to buy this Wi-Fi. So she had her phone on. Well, Tracy, Brian, Road Dog's wife, was calling my wife or texting my wife. Brian's got to talk to him. Brian's got to talk to him. So I'm like he never, like I talk to him all the time still. So I'm like going, what can this find? I don't know what's wrong. I don't know. Certainly they can't use me. They know I'm like so that certainly can't be it. But so I finally got a hold of him, and he said, hey, and now my wife and my son and everybody's around me going, what, like something wrong. And he told me, and they wanted to tell me because I think it was Sunday I was on, and Monday they wanted to announce it on Raw, so they wanted to tell me before they announced all that stuff. That's why it was such a hurry to tell me. So he told me that they wanted to put us in, and it was cool. It's like people don't really know me, but I'm not a wrestling person. I didn't grow up watching it. I wasn't a fan of it. I just absolutely fell into this by luck. And yeah, it's been awesome for me, and I love it, and I would never change it. I just wish I'd have gotten to it earlier. So it didn't sink in right away. My wife and my kid were losing their minds. But it just takes a minute to set in because you kind of go, Hall of Fame, well, that's kind of a big deal. So it took me a little while to kind of get into it. Not get into it, but understand what was going. Because I think really what was in the back of my mind, if I'm being honest, is I really wanted to go in with Brian first. So, and I'm not putting this down, I'm not saying anything about it because we went in as a group and that solidifies what DX was. They were the most awesome faction of all time in my opinion. But it just puts the stamp on what we did in this business. And we did a lot of great things, and it wasn't wrestling. It was entertainment, it was fun, it was making people want to watch every single week just to see the craziness that we would do, which was a lot of fun. So it just puts a stamp on us as a group. But I want to go in with Brian because I feel that we went from nothing. I mean, we went from literally getting fired. We were getting fired when they put us together. So they said, well, here, you guys go do your thing, to being one of the greatest tag teams of all time, entertainment-wise. We were very entertaining. You could talk. We just had great chemistry. So I wanted to go in with Brian first and then give the big 10 because I feel, and I mean that for everybody that's in there. I mean, Sean's already in, but I want Hunter to go, China to go, Kid to go, all of them to go as a separate, and then we can go because now when I go with Brian, it's my second one, which doesn't mean, which isn't that bad. It's not that bad of a deal. I'm not saying that it is, but it's just when you're in once, that's you're in once. You know what I mean? And please, by no means am I making this a bad thing. It's just kind of that's what was going through my mind that they were putting us all in because it just seemed very strange. But yeah, it was good. It's great. It's a great feeling. I love it. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. You know.
Billy?
Hi Billy, I have to ask you about the Voodoo King Mafia. The one...
Please don't.
Sorry about that, but
no.
I have to ask. What was the real reaction about the Triple H and Shawn Michaels have about the 1 million challenge?
Nothing. They
Nothing.
didn't give two hoots about it. The only people that cared were somebody in TNA offices and nobody cared. Like, that was just... It was, that whole thing was trying to recreate something that was really good in one company and not good at all in another company. Because once you have the original, you can kind of create some other stuff around it, right? The sequel is never as good as the main one, half the time. And this is one of those cases where the sequel was not anywhere near as good as the original. So it was just... It literally was, they had the tools to kind of get on them just a little bit and offer stupid things like that, but nobody cared. Like, they didn't care. The only company that cared was TNA, and they didn't, trying to do something with.
But Triple H and Shawn, they know before the challenge? Do you have to...
Oh, I don't know. They're not going to accept that. They're going to beat up. No, I don't know. We never talked. That was a period where we didn't talk to them at all, or talk to anybody up there. So.
Thank you.
Alguien que me haya preguntado antes.
Hola. Bueno, aparte de la lucha de hoy, sí que se queda conocer Chile. ¿Qué es lo que más le gusta de Chile? Anoche hubo un terremoto en California. ¿Y qué piensa del tema del terremoto acá en Chile?
He said that if you were looking forward to looking around you, if you have had the chance to look around the country this far.
I saw some mountains and they were awesome. That's all I've seen so far. I literally flew in here, went to the hotel, and kind of rested for a little while because I'm a red-eye flight. So I haven't got. I'll probably go around, look around a little bit tomorrow. But the mountains are awesome. I was just telling them, I just watched a movie last night with my wife that talked about these mountains. So it's kind of cool. I saw it in the movie, now I get to see them firsthand. So it's kind of, because, you know, most of Morocco's flat. No mountains or nothing. So, you know, unless you go out west or something like that. But it's awesome. Like, just the view of just driving around, there's mountains everywhere. It's just kind of cool. So.
You didn't see the right movie, right?
Yeah.
No, the one with the grass.
Yeah, that one, and then it was a Ben Affleck movie or something.
He also asked about wrestling. The still is really similar in that.
I have no earthquake while I'm here. Yeah, I was in an earthquake once when I lived in California. It was really weird. Yeah, don't have any of those. I can deal with hurricanes and tornadoes and stuff. No earthquakes. Got no control over it.
Hey. Hoy en día estás en All Elite Wrestling y tu pasado en la W. ¿Qué tres luchadores de la W actualmente te llevarías a All Elite Wrestling y por qué?
None of them. I don't mean that bad. I just don't. I don't want that company in my company. You know what I mean? I think Dean Ambrose is a good pickup because they kind of know his thing. But it's like a lot of those guys in WWE think if they get fired there, they're coming to AEW. That's not the case. You know, they're very select. They don't like that. If I see them on that TV, why do I want them on my TV? Right? This is a new, fresh thing, and I want our talent and these kids to be able to take that TV time. I don't want to take them to take their TV time from that. You know what I mean? So nothing against. There's some great talent there. There is, but they would have to be super duper special to be able to come and move into that company. It's not like we're not WCW. It's not like, hey, you jump ship there, it's already there. Oh, yes, that is, it would be a shock value kind of thing, but it's not like everybody that's going to get fired there is just has an open door policy. AEW. That ain't how that works. You know what I mean? Because you don't want something, you don't want to create something that they've already seen. I want to see this new. That's why this is so good, because you're seeing a bunch of new talent. I don't want to see talent from there to there. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that bad.
What is the best thing you have ever lived thanks to WWE?
What have I ever given? Best thing I've ever gotten out of WWE?
Oh, the best thing you have ever lived.
Matches. Your best. Because of wrestling,
Oh, well, both my kids went through college. My wife wants for nothing. They put both their kids through college. That's good. They both graduated. I mean, it's yeah. I have no bad will towards them. I don't. Like I got fired from there. I've been hired and fired 4 times from there. You know, but when they don't. Plus, it's very stressful to work there. It's too much for me. I don't need that in my life. I need what I have now, and AEW fits that. I have pretty much, and I don't say free reign. I have free reign to kind of help with it. I'm just like a good little helper. I just help people that need help. Cody, the Young Bucks, and advice, whatever. I just offer it up. I give you what I don't know a lot. I don't know it all, but I know enough to kind of just help you. And that's all I'm doing. That's one thing I love to coach. I love to do that because I love to just give back. Yeah. my wrestling isn't the greatest on the planet, but if you want to get over, that's a whole nother level of stuff, right? No wrestling move ever got anybody over. It's their character and how you present yourself as how do I make you want to sit in that chair right there and interview me because I'm really cool but you have to have that attraction. That's what makes people like you. What makes people dig off in their pockets, offer up a lot of money to come watch you, right? So you have to have that appeal to people. So, and that's what I am. That's what I do. I just, and they did a lot for me. Like without them, I'm not here. I don't sit here. You know what I mean? So yeah, I owe them a lot.
2 weeks ago we were here with PJ Black, and I always ask this question about the future. Who sees him as a future? He told me about Bandido. I'm going to ask you the same question of you. From the current roster, or maybe the new talent that is coming up, can you see somebody to say, okay, that guy has something? With your experience, can you?
I think MJF. MJF has something. He's got to kind of reel it all together, but as a heel, there's just some things he has to work on. Just everybody there has things they have to work on. And once they tap into that, and you haven't seen it yet, but my youngest, just got signed with ROH. Amazing. He is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not saying that because he's my kid. There's just something about him that he's insanely good. But I think MJF, he's the one from the AEW roster that say, of course, besides the Young Bucks and those guys, they're kind of already established. It's just, and Kenny knows, it's just getting a wider audience to get eyes on them. But I think MJF has that thing that as soon as he kind of just comes into his own, he'll be amazing. He'll be really good. He'll be a great heel. Kind of like what Baron Corbin's situation. When he was wrestling and doing all that stuff, people couldn't, like I was saying earlier, they couldn't identify with him. They couldn't get behind him because they have no idea who he is. He's just a great big football player that goes out there and wrestles. Who cares? But once they put him in that manager role at Raw and stuff like that, and people got to know him, boy, he's a monster heel for them now. Plus he's one of those. But yeah, that's the thing. That's what I mean. If you watch with these people, it's just to be able to identify with them. And once they put him in a role, it's just the same with MJF. Once we figure out a role and get him rolling and get him in that spot, we'll do the exact same thing.
Sé que hay muchos fanáticos que buscan como la competencia entre AEW y WWE.
You say it, yeah. I told you it was rusty.
Need to test it.
Yeah, it's the only word I know. Let's just say that a bunch.
Sé que ellos ven que son competencias también para WWE. Many fans see AEW as competition to WWE.
Who is?
Many fans see AEW as direct competition to WWE. They want competition.
Yeah, I hate to look at it that way.
Me too.
I won't look at it that way. Yeah, that's the buzz. Oh, good, that's here now. WWE has competition. No, we don't. No, they don't. Because they're WWE and nobody is competition for them. Because they've been on this planet a long time. And they'll be here a long time after everybody else is gone too. But that doesn't mean that we can't have a successful product also. Like we're going to do, it's not like that. It's like, hey, we're going to run our stuff. You just run your stuff. Don't worry about us. We don't worry about you. Yeah, Cody has a tendency to pick at them once in a while, but that's just him, right? But it's not, hey, I don't think Tony would, hey, we'll put this company together, put WWE out of business, because that will never happen, right? Because he knows the wrestling business, he just does, right? So it's like when he started XFL, he tried to get in NFL's back pocket, and guess what? Got squished, because he doesn't know that, but he does know the wrestling business, and we're not after them to put them out of business or compete with them. We're going to have our own product, and if you want to jump on board, jump on board. If you want to watch, you can be a fan of both. Like it's wrestling. Like nobody, it's not like you, I'm a WWE fan, I'm not watching that shit. really? Really? You're lying to yourself because that's not true, right? You want to be loyal to them, that's fine. But I promise you, if you come across our show, you'll watch it because you're a fan. But plain and simple.
I have the same opinion that you.
Es el autor. Ahí sobre la etapa de Chuck and Billy, ¿cómo le pareció a él tener esa pareja? Técnicamente Chuck Palumbo venía con una historia degradable y miserable y tuvo que cambiar todo su personaje, o unos personajes que para esa época eran muy llamativos, que jugaban con la homosexualidad técnicamente, pero no lo mostraban. ¿Cómo fue esa etapa? Ya que todos conocimos a Billy Gunn con Robo, pero la etapa con Chuck Palumbo, ¿qué tal es? ¿Y qué tal es? ¿Cómo fue su relación con él? Técnicamente acostumbrarse a un nuevo compañero.
Yes, about the Billy and Chuck tactic. How was your relationship with each other, and how was it for you and for Chuck changing characters, changing partners?
It was awesome. It was good. I mean, it was so a lot of people looked at what the Chuck and Billy was for what Chuck and Billy was, but it's a lot bigger than that. It was at a point in our career where we were kind of stifled. There was really nothing more for me to do. Like I feel that's when we get in a position where we don't there's no more challenges. And I'm not saying wrestling isn't a challenge. I'm just saying there was really no character challenge for me to do anymore. I've really done it. I've gone from a cowboy to a rockabilly guy to a badass to a guy Mr. Ass, and then I went to the one, and then all of a sudden I'm gay. Hell yeah. Really, that was a challenge to see if we could make people buy into that. And Chuck had to be on board. It's not just one or the other. Chuck is an awesome dude. He is great. I fucking love him. But at that point in our career, we were just going, hey, do you think we can do this? And we just went, yeah, we can, because we're that good. Like it was just a huge challenge to make everybody bite on it. And it wasn't supposed to start out like that, but it ended up like that, and they bid it hook, line, and sinker. So it was more of a challenge, a character challenge for us. 95% of the guys play gay guys on TV are not really gay. I'm just going to tell you that, right? They play a character. So that's what we were doing. But for us to make the character work, people have to buy into it. And they bought into it. Because the minute we did it, we were on every social media outlet in the States that you could possibly imagine. So it was kind of cool to see that you could actually pull something off like that. It was a lot of fun. It was just having fun. It was just having fun was something that they gave you that people went, there's no way you can do this. And I go, yes, I can. You know, oh, yes, I can.
Hola, volviendo un poco al tema anterior, ¿qué le ha parecido que en SmackDown y Raw las audiencias han sido bajas en la asistencia? Y si cree que AEW ha sido tiene culpa un poco en parte de eso.
What do you think about ratings from Raw and SmackDown dropping? And do you think that maybe it's a consequence of
No, I have no idea why their ratings drop, because it's just very stifling. Their show is very, and I'm not talking bad about them. It's what it is. Like, they don't have competition. We as people, we thrive on competition. Like, we get very mundane until somebody goes, well, I'm a lot better than you. And then your feathers get all ruffled up and you go, wait a second, right? Because it brings something out in us. But if you don't, we're not competition. We are not competition at all. But if you have nothing to go against, or you're just happy with your product, I'm happy with my product. What's wrong with it? I still have sponsors. I just signed a bazillion-dollar deal to go on Fox Sports. So I don't know anything about the ratings. I'm not that deep in the office about those kind of things. But I think it's just because I don't know, but I'm just speculating that you see the same thing every single week. I think the only is what throws me a little bit. like I said earlier, you can still do all that stuff, but they do it for no reason whatsoever, just because they can do it. Like, we'll go train for a week, I'll show you a bunch of stuff to do, I'll put a bunch of people out there, just go do it. It won't make any sense. So as a fan, I can't follow along, so I don't care. And I see the same thing from match 1, 2, 3, 4, until usually the main event where I'm at, and then you'll see none of that. You'll see people that are absolutely able to follow along and be able to do. And I'm just like I said, I'm not saying there's not room for that. I'm just saying, give me a reason to see it. And my coaching at NXT was awesome. I had great guys. I have like a majority of them are on the main roster now. Like I said, I love to coach. I love to just sit there and just go over stuff that people want to listen to.
Well, last September, Olin, you were in the Battle Royal, in the pre-show. For me, one of the most entertaining Battle Royal I have ever been. You were with your son.
Yeah.
How special was that? And did you give any special advice? Because I don't know for you that your son is following your steps.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the second or third time we've actually done something together. Like his very first match, me and him tagged together just so I could kind of keep eyes on him and make sure that but it's amazing, like I can't even put it in words how cool it is and the cooler thing is he's so much better than me, which I love that. That's the thing, he's so much better than I am. But he gets it, and it's so much fun. And for him to do the battle royal, it wasn't so much to be in it as to be in the middle of 15,000 people. Like, that's what I really want. And just in case, like, you never know what happens. God forbid something happen, he doesn't do this. He has a degree to fall back on. He can teach, do whatever. But I just really wanted the feeling and what it is to have 15,000 people just looking at you, just losing their minds. So I wanted him to suck that up and understand the feeling of that, like, and just in case it never happens. So it was amazing. It was really good. I mean, it was probably one of the best moments of my life. And yeah, that battle royal was the best I've ever been. Like, it was really good. We tried to simulate it this year. Kind of fell short just because you don't have the players. You know what I mean? It wasn't bad, but you just don't have all the same players. When you don't have all the same players, you ain't getting the same plays. You gotta run a couple options. So, but yeah, other than that, yeah, he's gonna do great. So I have no problem with that. He's gonna have a lot of fun at ROH, and I'm just excited because he's so good. That's
Bien, chicos, con eso estamos ahora. Sé que ahora usualmente le pedimos a Billy que le crea el saludo y todo eso. Hoy día lo vamos a hacer al final del meet and greet porque estamos atrasados.
Don't leave any of your stuff up here. I'll sell it on eBay.
Así que, gracias, cabros, y eso, pueden volver acá a pedirle videitos después.
Thank you, Billy.
Yes, you're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Thank you, Billy.
Hey, man.
Amen.